Hi, how are you? My name is Nam-Joon Cho. I'm very glad to get an invitation to give a talk. And then I'm very honored to give a talk at the conference for the AKC 2021. This year topic is sustainability and global realization. And then I'm very glad to talk about sustainability of the agriculture, food science, and technology platform connecting AgTech pioneer, which is I coined the name, and the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to give you the talk about what is AgTech pioneer definition wise, and then what is the problem with the sustainability, food science, and technology, and so on and so forth. And then content-wise, I'm going to give you a talk about reality in agriculture in whole. And then the agriculture basically is coined after the one of the scholars from Japan. They talk about sixth industrialization, and which is, I believe, the fourth year of the reason why the agricultural sector is so not innovative. And then innovation is everything, not only just from the science and technology viewpoint, but also for the innovation for agriculture is very much important. And then I try to reinterpreting of the agriculture as a whole and with the viewpoint of engineering. So if you actually see the whole material innovation history and industry revolution that goes with the material innovation, Renaissance, industrial revolution, biological revolution, all goes with the material generation too, as you clearly see that. With the material innovation, there is no revolution. Without any revolution, there is no material innovation. With that in mind, the reality in agriculture right now, part one is the food security. Everybody talks about food security right now. COVID-19 pandemic, they have a problem with the whole circulation of agriculture and livestock industry, many places, and then they have to revive by the this food security, and then even UN SDG goal, Sustainable Development Goal. A lot of this aligning with the four of them is related with the food security. One is to end the poverty. Second is zero hunger, which is decent work for all, and then consumption production pattern for the ensure sustainability. The reason out of 17 4 relate with the food because there is still have a problem with the security. So that's why UN SDG goal, Sustainable Development Goal, is aligning with the food and agriculture. And then the problem, global population problem, as you clearly see that compared with the 1995 to the 2017 agriculture industry is basically totally reduced, and the rural population also decreasing dramatically, even though it is very, very important. And then, however, the world population is growing from 3.0 billion to the 7.6 billion, and then it will increasing to 10 billion very soon. However, the population for the 65 plus is increasing from 4.9 to 9.1. That's the aging of the agriculture population is basically increasing dramatically. That is one of the problems because the reducing proportion of the agriculture in the national economy also dramatically affecting, even though the food is very important thing. So we need to start talking about collapsing of the rural area. And then why this is happening. We need to realize it, and then we need to discuss about why this is happening, even though we emphasize so much about food security. The reason is very simple, reducing of rural income, because compared with urban income, rural income proportion is reduced. It was about 77%, it's comparable, but now from 2008 to 2015, it's 64%, even worse. Coming up, the gap between rural income with the agricultural growth is dramatic. The gap is tremendously increasing by the development of the industrialization in the rural compared with the regular urban city. So nobody want to live in the rural city because there is no benefit. So part two is in order to solve this problem, is one guy coined name in order to agricultural innovation, economic growth. That's what is happening. So one of the guys, Dr. Imamura from Japan, and then he coined the name of a sixth industrialization, which is six meaning is basically they combining or multiply first industrialization, second industrialization, and third industrialization. That is definition of the sixth industrialization of the initiative, which is first is farmer, and then they processing distribute, that's the second, and then third is rural welfare, tourism, participation. So previously, basically countermeasure with the industrialization is basically they are basically put the coin for the sixth industrialization. It's not only South Korea, Japan, and US, EU with a different name, but the whole platform is basically they want to foster the individual management to develop interdisciplinary industry convergence in order to revitalization of the rural region. That's all they want to do. And then they're adding value addition for the subsidiary program and the local food and so on and so forth. So basically what they want to do is growing the farmer, for example, for instance, selling apple, grow apple, selling apple itself, it's not beneficial. It doesn't help farmer a lot. So what they do is they want to adding the processing distribution, like for example, apple wine, or they also adding the rural welfare and tourism participation in order to increasing the benefit. That is what they call the sixth industrialization. Which is sixth industrialization is successful in the case of Korea, and then some of them, for example, and then some of them is basically government-led initiative is like Japan. When those government-led initiative is not successful because the producer does not gain any benefit by the second and third industrialization. And then the convergence of into the production income from the added value of the agriculture production is not happening. So with that, how was abroad? It's a very similar situation. However, there is a few different cases in the Netherlands and Napa Valley kind of place. They have a tremendous of leading economic region to develop. And then Denmark, Sweden, there is a few places that have the value agriculture system. So basically they put engineering effort to the agriculture in order to the high added value creation chain, they can actually expanding in the externally and the multidisciplinary function. And then when this become the internationalization is very, very important. For example, Food Valley, which is driving force of the Dutch agricultural food industry, $46 billion annual sale. And then they have more than 50,000 enterprise. They're very concentrated fashion. It's the Food Valley is basically in the Silicon Valley of the food, which they have the contributing of the Food Valley is about 31% of the annual agriculture export in this case. And then there is a role model for the national food cluster in the Iksan city in Korea. But is it really benefit to the farmer in the Netherlands? Which is the case, you can actually see the fluctuation of the income of the farmer comparing from the 2001 to 2015 statistic. As you clearly see, it's looked very promising, $46 billion, but those benefits does not directly contribute to the farmer itself too. But still, it is not stable for the farmer income, even though you put a lot of technology and everything and everything. So changes in agriculture price is the viability in the farmer income. And the Napa Valley is the same situation. Napa Valley is the large wine production site in California. It's about $52 billion annual sale, 19 billion tourists a year, large winery location, and so on and so forth. But California net farm income level is decreasing. Why this is happening? Still decreasing in the farm income. Why this is the problem? Horizontal diversification is the problem. What do you mean by horizontal diversification? Adding value that does not return to the actual producer. It returns to the very big culture, very big conglomerate, not to the individual. So horizontal six industry without mutual exchange is basically lack of a variable, and scalable strategy is missing. That's the one of the limitation. And second limitation is basically dependency on the horizontal rural tourism, limit of the foster village-based supply, which is the problem, and the low added value area for the limited business capital capacity is the problematic thing. And then also the limit four is poor urgent group of supplier and processing sector. They have a mismatch by the policy project orders. Eventually, uncertainty is matter. It's a book in sustainable agriculture management strategy on the sixth industrialization leading by the government. It's totally failed. Fundamentally, what do we solve the rural problem? We basically need innovation. Without innovation, it's not happening. So with the innovation, that's the only solution we have. So innovation, what is innovation? A lot of people think innovation is some kind of a technology driven something very big. But innovation can be very simple. And innovation is not just technology development only. Actually, not just environment changes, innovation is talent drive. So where the talent can work freely in playground, and then also talent can work freely in incentive wise. So which is Silicon Valley is the one of the representative place for the innovation. And then actually, if you see it, Silicon Valley 1939 is just farming place. And then two of the talent people actually working in the garage, that's the HP. And then that was the birth of the Silicon Valley from early year for the HP to the Yahoo and right now the Google kingdom. And then that was the by the two talented people and birth of Silicon Valley. Which is Silicon Valley right now output is $275 billion, which is higher than the GDP of the Finland. And they basically create a sustainable IT ecosystem. It's from the natural quartz fence. They create the new material semiconductor wafer, and then there was the maximizing added value by developing new material from quartz sand to Silicon Valley's wafer that create basically fourth industrial revolution from the reinterpreting of the material. They create a whole new industry, including automobile, digital appliance, smartphone, tablet, and then server and data center, and so on and so forth. So basically, in conclusion, you can actually say that the innovation is from the reinterpretation of the material that has been happening in the IT industry, has been happening in the biology, and so on. So if you apply exactly same principle to the agriculture, reinterpretation of agriculture, where we can start from, that is basically my whole concept of AgTech pioneer, cross-dimensional technology, and so on and so forth, which is we need a new concept in agriculture. And then the concept number one is AgTech Pioneer, which is one of my title, and then also cross-dimensional technology, which is I coined the name. What is AgTech Pioneer? AgTech Pioneer is which is talent who looks at the agricultural product with the engineering and scientific sight, which is insight, can dramatically increasing the added value by creating new materials. Cross-dimensional technology, which is engineering method, can create a new material from discarded surface product and grant added value dramatically by fusion existing technology, which is the cross-dimensional technology. About 30% of the world agriculture output, which is about around 60 billion tons annually, which that equals to the $160 billion, which is we are losing it, we waste it. And if we can do something by creating sustainable agricultural ecosystem, which is new agricultural ecosystem platform that can employ remarkably enhance the sustainability of agriculture and fishery product by interpreting the surplus or discarded products scientifically. So conventionally, people talking about 6 industrialization, which is production, manufacturing, service. It's purely horizontal diversification. I'm talking about cross-dimensional industrialization, which is necessary from the first product from the farming. We need to input value addition in cross-dimensional fashion by the new material R&D innovation, by the bio-industry high value addition of the industry, which is necessary. That's what we call cross-dimensional industrialization instead of fixed industrialization initiative. So if you basically adding value from the, for example, wholesale of the $1.5 per kilogram, you processing, you make the processing for the $4, you make the distribution retail for the $3, there is no value addition. Let me give you the example. If you're using stuff from the very, instead of making drink, if you actually create the new material, for example, beta-glucan, that's going to be the $64 per kilogram. And then depending on the purification, that value addition to the $2,000. And then depending on the application, you can actually create a huge impact with the minimal technology development, which that can be happen in the mushroom too. Basically, it's a very similar model. You can actually create the value addition dramatically instead of selling mushroom to distribute and then make the mushroom source. Even crab, even the different fishery, for example, crab wholesale, soy sauce mayonnaise crab, and then crab retail. Those value addition is some, but not huge. However, if we actually create new material like chitosan and purify formulation, estimate the price for the high-end chitosan kind of material, polysaccharide kind of material, you can actually see that $180,000 per kilogram. That is very much possible in the turmeric. Is one of the example, another example from the wholesale powder make the pill health supplement. Instead of that, if you actually study for the curcumin and the nano size curcumin and the application, you can actually make the huge implication and difference. With that, I call cross-dimensional industrialization by the technology and science development from the talented people. And we need AgTech pioneer in the agricultural society. We need to have those pioneers. For example, egg, which is my expert, is a lipid. You can actually using egg, you can make the omelette, you can set the egg, how much you can own. Very minor. Using this cross-dimensional industrial technology, you can actually create the value addition right now. LNP is lipid extract from the egg, drug delivery platform from the liposome, and so on and so forth. With this for example, I give you the example for each different population and different application, even including the pollen. We can actually make the pollen is a waste material, by the way, and then we can actually value addition to the making new material that give you totally different idea. With that, I summarize this cross-dimensional industrialization, basically give you the value addition, not only from the $100 value addition, from this cross-dimensional wise, you can give you the value addition of the tremendous of amount, which that is very, very important idea of depending on the value addition, that happening with a talented fashion. That is what we call cross-dimensional innovation ecosystem. That is very much necessary in order to make the sustainable world by the vision, strategy, tactics. That starts from the education, innovation, translation. AgTech Pioneer or Agricultural Innovation Future Platform is necessary from the AgTech Pioneer ecosystem from the beginning, which is the recruitment of the talent. That is the beginning. And then we need the university program with the training course, professional development. Education is very much necessary for the research support, grant competition, infrastructure, partnership, marketing, which is or some is a very important field. So I close this talk, very short talk with this Leonardo da Vinci's talk about I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Being willing is not enough, we must do. This whole concept, we know the answer. We need to build up the talent. That's why the education platform, which is necessary. And then now it's not too late. We need to build the education for the agriculture in order to actually secure food, science, and technology. Thank you very much for the listening my talk. If you have a question, I'm here, and then I will take the question. Thank you very much.